you tell me what is the most challenging situation you faced in your day-to-day work.
So there was one business request so that pipeline should not run on holidays.
You have your office laptop or office server. In that server, a folder is there and there is a file available. Okay. Now you want to copy the files from that folder location to the cloud using an ADF. How are we going to do that?
So to copy into cloud, so we'll use a copy activity first of all.
Have you ever worked on calling a one pipeline from another pipeline? Have you come across any situation?
So if we have to do call one pipeline after another, so we have to use a execute pipeline activity.
Welcome everyone. We have an Ankit with us and we're going to have a mock interview on Azure Data Engineering. And please do watch till the end because in the second part of this video, we're going to do the analysis on how the Ankit has answered, what could have been done much better, and how would you answer in your interview, and don't do this kind of a mistake. So that's what we're going to see in the second part of it. So keep watching. So Ankit, thank you for coming in. Can you start with your intro?
Yeah, thank you so much. So myself, Ankit Raj, I have completed my graduation from Birla Institute of Technology, Mishra, and since then I have in total of 2 years of experience working with Hudson's Bay Company, working as a data engineer here. So my main roles and responsibilities were to build and maintain data pipeline using Azure Data Factory, and for transformation we were using Databricks.
Okay.
So yeah.
You using both, right? Again, considering you have a pretty less experience, like 2 years around. So do you actually work there, or like you're in the support, or you do the development there, or what actual role you do?
Development side, building
Development side.
pipeline.
And what is your roles and responsibility on daily basis as a data engineer there?
So mostly I worked on creating a pipeline to move data from on-prem to Azure, a cloud. So this was my main roles and responsibilities there.
Okay, and bug fixing and that you do it, or what?
Yeah, I have also worked on optimizing SQL's query. So
Okay.
on that part I have experience.
Okay, great. Now you tell me what is the most challenging situation you faced in your interview. Sorry, in your day-to-day work.
So one challenge I remember is so there was one business request so that pipeline should not run on holidays. This was one challenge which I faced.
Okay, beside this,
So
any other challenge which you faced?
any other I don't.
Okay, only this challenge you remember. Anything which you faced in the Databricks or the Spark side? Any challenge?
Databricks as of now, it's okay. Like small transformation they used to give me, nothing much of that. So till now, I have been able to handle that.
Okay, so you majorly worked on the ADF side, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Okay, let's talk about your holiday thing. Okay, so how you have solved that problem?
So basically, I created an Excel file
Okay,
uh, containing listing all the holidays and uploaded into ADLS. And
perfect.
I used one lookup activity to
Okay,
check the dates, which will fetch the current date and match the date from the my Excel file.
okay,
And I have a copy activity. So and in the copy activity, sorry, I will use a if activity. So I'll check like if the date matches, we won't run the pipeline, and if the date is not matched, in that case we'll run a pipeline. So we will have a copy activity inside a if one.
okay. What about the Saturday and Sundays then?
Uh, so in that case, we can do the we can run the I will schedule my pipeline to run on Monday to Friday.
Okay, Monday to Friday, every day you schedule it to run.
Mm.
Okay, and if Monday is a holiday, then it won't run, it will run on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay, let's change this problem. Okay, imagine that you have to run your pipeline every 30th of the month. Okay, or let's say 20th of the month. Let's make it more easier. 20th of the every month. Okay, once in a month. If 20 is an holiday, it should be run on 21. If 21 is on holiday, it should run on 22. Or until unless you get the business working day. Okay, how would you solve that problem?
So first, to run on a monthly basis. So we'll have a schedule or a tumbling window trigger. Anything both of will work in this case. I will choose recurrence as monthly. I will choose the date as 20th.
Perfect. Okay.
And
Then,
if it's a holiday, then for retry, I'm not able to.
okay. So think.
We should have to schedule it for the next day if it's a holiday. So
Okay.
not able to.
No worries. No problem.
We'll look.
Okay. Let's imagine that you have a file which is available into a file system. Okay. File system means like you have your office laptop or office server. In that server, a folder is there and there is a file available. Okay. Now you want to copy the files from that folder location to the cloud using an ADF. How are we going to do that?
Okay. So my file is into my local.
Your local, your server local, anything.
Okay. So to copy into cloud, so we'll use a copy activity first of all.
Okay.
And since it's on my local, so it's a on-prem.
Okay.
Uh, so we'll have two link services and two data sets. And in the in the source, we have to go with the self-hosted integration runtime
Why?
because it won't work for private networks. Azure auto integration runtime.
Are you sure your self-hosted integration runtime work with this file system? ChatGPT nahi?
No.
Tell me, come on.
Yeah, self-hosted integration time basically works for the on-prem to cloud. So I think this should work here.
Okay, check it. Then
Then in sync, we'll choose let's say we are copying into ADLS. So we'll choose ADLS. Let's say we are storing into CSV file. So we'll choose CSV and give the container path
okay,
where we want to store this.
understood. This get copied. Now the next scenario is after you copy this file, I want you to push that file into the database. That is the Azure SQL DB database. Okay. But my condition is this will go to the Azure SQL database only in the case when the size of this file would be more than 1 GB. Okay. How would you tackle that situation?
Okay. So in this case, what I'm able to think is we can use a get metadata activity first to get the detail of file, and we'll have a for each activity. So and I will set it to sequential, and one by one it will take the data from the get metadata activity. And in get metadata activity, we will select the child item. So it will get the file names one by one. And in for loop activity, we'll pass the add parameterize and add dynamic content, and we'll pass the name of the file one by one. Inside for each activity, we will use a lookup activity, which will check the file size. If it's greater than 1 GB, so we'll use a copy activity. Sorry, if activity will be there. So if file size is greater than this, we'll copy the data.
How would you write lookup activity to check the size?
In lookup activity, I will use a greater function. So
Okay.
file size is greater than like output at the rate output of the lookup one greater than 1 GB.
This you
Then
will write in the lookup or in the if else? If else. Where you will write this?
no, this I will write in if.
Yeah. So what you will write in the lookup? I asked the lookup, right? What you will write in the lookup to get the size?
Okay. So for lookup, we can in the add dynamic content, we can go with get. We'll have to pass the first row from the get metadata activity to get.
Okay. To get what?
Okay, so we have an option count of count dot uh, count dot item or something. It's I'm not exactly able to recall.
Okay. Are you sure that lookup activity will work here?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. No worries. Now you copied it, data goes to the database. Okay. Now, while you were copying the data from your file to this database, imagine that there is some mismatch. Mismatch like the name of the column on the file is customer ID, but name of the column into the table is cust ID. You getting the point?
Mhm.
Now you tell me how you would handle it. So the name of the column on the left hand side is different, name of the column on the right hand side is different while you copying this. How would you take care of it?
Okay. So अच्छा, column name is different.
थोड़ा वेरिएशन तो होना चाहिए ना. Okay, how we will take care? Okay, no worries. Uh, imagine that. Imagine that you done the development from all this making a pipeline. What is the next step after doing this in your project? You do.
So if everything is done, trigger and everything, like, so basically, if something fails, then we monitor it, like how to optimize it, or if it's running slow, then we'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Anything else you do?
Apart from this, like I have only worked on SQL side.
No, I mean, like when your pipeline is ready to finish, it got finished, you successfully develop it, then you just run it, or like how it will go to the different environment.
Okay. So for moving into from one environment to other environment, we will use a CI/CD approach. So we will using Azure Git for this
Okay.
to move from one environment to the other environment.
Okay. Have you ever done that?
No, to be very honest, we have a separate team member here.
Okay. Do you know that this process exists in your project or not?
Yeah,
Okay. Have you ever heard about the word called DIUs
yeah.
into the data factory? What is DIU?
So DIU basically stands for Data Integration Unit. So
Okay.
if our pipeline is running slow, let's say, so we can go to our copy activity in setting. We have this option. We can increase the DIU, so it will decrease the time up to some extent.
It will increase the time or it will decrease
No,
the time.
it will decrease the time. We will increase the DIU, so then the time will get
No,
increased.
but what is this DIU? Actually, what it do under the hood? How it will increase or decrease? I mean, there has to be something, right?
Yeah.
Or it is. Okay, no problem. Have you ever worked on calling a one pipeline from another pipeline? Have you come across any situation where you
Okay.
have to
Yeah.
execute one pipeline from another pipeline?
Yeah. So if we have to do call one pipeline after another, so we have to use a execute pipeline activity.
Okay,
So yeah, and we can pass the, let's say we have two pipeline P1 and P2. So in the pipeline one, we'll give the, sorry, in the execute pipeline, we'll give the output as P2 in the mentioned there, and it will execute after pipeline one.
okay. And I mean, you talked about the tumbling window trigger. You talked about the schedule trigger. There is another interesting type of a trigger. Is there? What is that type of the trigger?
It's a storage event trigger.
Okay. Have you ever used that in your project?
No, I haven't used it.
Do you know what it stands for?
Yeah.
Why it is
So
used?
we can use that. Let's say ki in ADLS, it will get trigger if some event happens. So let's say file creation. So
Okay.
if a file is created, that that pipeline will be executed. So in that type of scenario, we will use this storage event trigger.
So, I mean, if you've done the pipeline development, you create some workflow, some pipeline, and you click on the debug button, right, to run your
Okay.
pipeline and see. So, what is the difference between this debug and the trigger?
Okay. So to use trigger now, we have to publish it before using trigger now.
Okay.
Debug we can use without even publishing it. And debug also give us detailed information about the pipeline now. But trigger now does not give the that much detail as compared to debug.
Is that the only difference?
These two I know.
Okay. Great. Okay. So, thank you, Ankit. Let's get into the second phase of this mock interview where we're going to do the analysis on how you have performed and what we could have done better. Okay. To start with, Ankit, the one thing is like is you have a very small experience, like 1.10. So it's not a big experience at all. So the expectation, anyways, from your profile is going to be a low when you sit in the interview, and that is what the expectation for me as well. Secondly, my brutal honest, like you always see in my videos and everywhere, I give a pretty brutal honest feedback, even though I know that this is going to publish. uh, you need to make a lot of changes. Okay, right now the first thing which I talk about is technical. I'm going to talk about anyways. You have to be more confident in the behavioral wise. Right now it's like you are very tensed. Okay, ऐसा लग रहा है चेहरे पे 12 बजे हुए हैं. ठीक है. So be relaxed. Interview, whatever the interview you are giving, whether this interview or any interview in the world, that is not the last interview of your entire career. Nops. The jobs will come, jobs will go, and interview come and interview go. Okay. So ये नहीं तो किसी और में हो जाएगा. Okay. So be relaxed first. You have to be feel like you enjoying that discussion. The moment you relax your mind, you perform much better. Okay. So पहला chill, calm. Okay. थोड़ा अगर स्माइलिंग फेस रख के इजी गोइंग कोई सा भी इंटरव्यू हो, आई मीन यू मेक द डिस्कशन मोर यू नो
Interest.
कंफर्टेबल. अभी किसी को डरा हुआ चेहरा देख के कुछ इंटरव्यू होंगे जो वो ज़्यादा डराएंगे, समझ रहे हो? तो बी
हाँ।
रिलैक्स्ड, ठीक है। और वैसे भी ये तो मॉक था, भी मॉक में इतने डर हुए हो तो रियल में कितने डरे होगे? ओके, सो गेट रिड ऑफ दैट फर्स्ट। सेकेंड थिंग, वो एक आपके इसमें से पॉज एंड ऑन वाला बटन है ऐसा लगता है, ठीक है। आई मीन सडनली यू क्वेश्चन, यू नो, यू स्टार्ट एंड यू नो, शुरू हुआ एकदम, ट्रेन चालू हुई, ट्रेन खत्म, एंड फिर एकदम से पॉज। यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? सो
Yeah.
तो वो वैसा नहीं होना चाहिए। इट्स गो विथ स्टडी फ्लो, ओके। बिहेवियरली आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द बिहेवियर, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट द टेक्निकल टर्म्स। ओके, तो बिहेवियरली थोड़ा सा होना चाहिए कि इवन इफ यू डोंट नो इट, इट्स ओके,
Mm.
यू डोंट नो इट, बट वो एक ब्लैंक फेस नहीं होना चाहिए, ठीक है। यू
Oh.
बी एमिकेबली से दैट, ओके, आई एम ट्राइंग एंड इट्स नॉट वर्किंग, मैं कुछ तो ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि यू डूइंग समथिंग, ओके।
Oh.
नहीं तो ऐसा होता है कि when you behave like this, it feels like that the question which you have read, you are answering that. The question which you have not read, you completely blank. You getting my point? तो
Yeah.
वो ट्रस्ट फैक्टर एक इंटरव्यूअर के दिमाग में आ जाता है कि यार शायद इसने क्वेश्चन पता था इसलिए उसका तो जवाब दे दिया, बाकी इसने कभी पढ़ा ही नहीं।
Mm.
The important thing is it's not the correct answer, the correct approach that has to be there. The correct approach is most important rather than the correct answer in cases of some scenario based question. So your approach has to be right. Okay, कुछ जगह मुझे लगा कि वो अप्रोच में थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ है, सो यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन दोज अप्रोचेस। अब इफ यू कम टू द टेक्निकल पार्ट क्विकली, जैसे मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा दैट टेल मी द मोस्ट चैलेंजिंग सिचुएशन यू फेस्ड इन योर प्रोजेक्ट, यू जंप्ड एंड बिकॉज यू प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट क्वेश्चन अर्लियर, आपने अपने पिटारे में से एक क्वेश्चन निकाला हॉलीडे वाला एंड थ्रो कर दिया, ठीक है, कि हाँ ये है, ठीक है। मैंने जैसे दूसरे चैलेंज पूछा, यू आर कंप्लीटली ब्लैंक। वैसा नहीं होना चाहिए। हमें पता है कि दिस काइंड ऑफ अ क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू आस्क, कीप 2-3 प्रॉब्लम इन योर हेड समवेयर, ठीक है। तो ये वाला प्रॉब्लम ना आए, क्योंकि अब आप जो बता रहे हो ना वो कॉमन हो चुका है,
Mm.
ठीक है। क्योंकि आपने भी शायद मेरे कुछ वीडियोस देखे होंगे, कहीं कुछ देखा होगा, तो काफ़ी कॉमन हो चुका है वो। तो हो सकता है इंटरव्यू बोलते कि चलो दूसरा बताओ, मुझे पता है कि ये तुम्हें पता है टाइप्स,
Mm.
ओके, दैट्स नॉट अ जेन्युइन वन। तो एक तो वो, दूसरी चीज़, अगर आप वही यूज़ केस ले रहे हो तो वर्क लिटिल मोर अराउंड इट, ठीक है। एक बार या तो चला के देख लो, नहीं भी चला के देख लो तो उसके अराउंड थोड़ा सा चैट जीपीटी करके, लाइक यू प्रिपेयर द एंटायर प्लस माइनस विच कैन कम अराउंड दैट क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द इंटरव्यू विल नॉट बी अ स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड वेयर they ask a question, you answer it, and they move to the next question. No, most of the time it will be a cross question, okay, on whatever you answer. So please prepare that. Third thing, then I twisted this question a little bit. कि ठीक है, I mean, not doing on a daily basis, if we do it on a monthly basis, and then it become completely blank. So I feel that there is an logical error is there. It's not about technology. It's about the logical thought process that you have to come across कि ठीक है, अभी we have to run a pipeline like once a month, ठीक है,
Mm.
बट वो रिट्राई करते हुए चलनी चाहिए, लाइक यू नो, नेक्स्ट डे के लिए, फिर नेक्स्ट डे के
Next
लिए,
day.
फिर नेक्स्ट डे के लिए। सो यू थिंक अबाउट इट, व्हाट बेस्ट वी कैन डू
Okay.
समथिंग। मतलब बहुत लॉजिकल, बहुत आसान सी चीज़ है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल बोलता हूँ दैट यू नो द लॉजिक एंड एवरी वन हु इज वॉचिंग दिस ऑल्सो नो दिस लॉजिक। If your salary has to come on 20th of every month, but if 20th is not a business working day, you get it on the next day. So
Mm.
you will not do the calculation. You know that, right? If 20 is a holiday, 21 आएगी. 21 is not that. If I tell you that ki this week these are the holiday, you know that, right? When your salary is about to come. You don't need a
Mm.
computer to know that. So the logic is very clear. Exact logic that you have to put it in that specific use case. You got the point? That we have to go and check every day, right?
Mm.
And the payment has to be done only on the 20th, right?
Mm.
And or let's say I start checking from 20 to 30th, okay, that in 10 दिनों में तो शायद कोई ना कोई सा ऐसा वर्किंग डे आ ही जाएगा टाइप्स। सो यू कुड हैव मेड योर ओन लॉजिक, you got the
Mm.
point? So that logic building was something which you have to little bit work upon. Then we had a next question on the column. So column question, you said it like that if the column name get different from here to there, then you feel problematic. It was like in the copy there is the schema mapping your schema. So with that that can solve your problem. Then you were not very clear that CI/CD is needed in the project. Like, you know, that once you done the development, you were like blank. Okay, that so the next step after the development is the deployment.
Okay.
So it's okay you haven't worked on that. That's not a problem. I mean, but your step has to be clear. That okay, once
Mm.
deployment development has been done, the next step is my project is this, and it has to be done by like this. DIUs, you know what is the full form of the DIUs. You know that DIU increase करने से time बढ़ेगा या कम होगा types, but you are not sure about what DIU do under the hood. Basic basic missing. Okay, the DIU is something which provide you the computational power to your auto resolve integration on time. Under the hood, your the RAM size is increasing, your server capacity is increasing like that. Okay, so that's why it become more powerful and solve your problem much faster. That is the intent of a DIU. So more DIU cost you the more money. Okay, that is something which we can, which you would have done it. Debug versus the trigger. That is something you again missed it. That debug is stands for debugging the pipelines. Okay, I mean you have whether you saw that or not. When you click on any of the activity on the top, when you click on that circle become red. Okay, so your pipeline can run up to that point, debug point, like you have in Java, .NET, Python, and every language. So that is basically the intent of the debug in the your data factories. So, but still, all being said, the good thing on here is your experience is very low, like 1.10, as I said. So it will be wrong if I expect that everything you would answer it. Maybe because few things is take a little more time, little more experience. So from that angle, it's okay. Even when you sit in the interview and somebody see that like a 1.10 years of experience, their expectation also will not be very very high. Okay, so their expectations also be a little low. But still I would say technology, don't know everything, that is okay, but at least logic building has to be more clearer. Okay, so that is missing. So practice a little more around solving some of the problems on data factory side. I haven't asked anything on the Databricks side or Spark side because I feel like you're not comfortable there. I'm not sure whether it is right or wrong, but I felt like you were not very comfortable because you said like you just touched upon it like that. So that's it. Ankit, thank you so much for coming in. And I am sure like you will learn something out of this and it will help you. Okay. And tension नहीं लेने का है. टेंशन बिल्कुल नहीं लेने का है. 1.5 आई मीन 1.10 ईयर्स में तो अभी तो चल मारने का टाइम है. ठीक है. अभी आपके ऊपर कोई ज़्यादा डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है, एकदम कोई टेंशन नहीं है. अच्छी बात ये है कि यू हैव अ वेरी डिसेंट पैकेज. आपके मोस्ट ऑफ द जो आपके पीयर्स होंगे, यू वुड हैव अर्न अ मच बेटर सैलरी इन लास्ट 2 years कंपेयर टू दैट. सो आपके पास ही समझ लो कि 6 महीने का बफर तो है. ठीक है, तो यू हैव दैट बफर. बी रिलैक्स्ड, कीप अप स्किलिंग, और हो जाएगा, आसानी से हो जाएगा. इतना लोड लेने की जरूरत नहीं है लाइफ में. ठीक है, बी रिलैक्स. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you those who are watching this. Please go and subscribe this. I'll see you soon with the next video. Bye.